Hey guys, Curtis Alexander. I'm a pharmacist. In this video, I'm going to go over Tribulus terrestris and if it can actually increase testosterone levels in men. So let's just hop right into it. And I want to point out at the end of the video, I'm going to kind of give you my summary, my main takeaways from what the research is showing us and kind of give you some pointers if you decide to move forward and try it. So Tribulus, one of the most important ingredients in it, really the most important ingredient, is something called protodiazine. Okay, and protodiazine is what we believe to be the active ingredient and what is causing any hormonal changes that might be occurring. So if you use a product, that's something that you want to pay attention to as far as the content of it. So let's look at some of the studies. So we had a few of them to look at. The first one was in 30 males who are experiencing symptoms of low testosterone, one of those being erection difficulties. Also, they looked at their actual hormonal levels. So they gave them 250 milligrams of Tribulus 3 times a day. And we're going to see this kind of a common dosage through this studies. Was this around 750 milligrams a day broken up into multiple doses. At the end of the study, they did find that total testosterone was increased, free testosterone was increased, and the erection quality in these men went up as well. And this was statistically significant compared to the men who did not receive it. So that's promising. Now, another interesting study that wasn't as promising, but I'll point out the differences. I'd call this the CrossFit study. They took men with otherwise healthy testosterone levels who were doing CrossFit workouts. So they were doing resistance training. And part of the reason they looked at them in the study is CrossFit, as you may know, pretty intense workouts. Cortisol levels tend to be fairly high because of the intensity of the workouts. So they were looking at the hormonal response in otherwise healthy men, but very stressful workouts. So again, 770 milligrams a day for 6 weeks, a little shorter time frame. And in this one, they actually found there was no change. There was no change in testosterone, there was no change in cortisol, and hence no change in the testosterone to cortisol ratio. Okay, now what is this telling us? Basically, I would say that if you're a healthy male, it's probably not going to bump your testosterone a bunch, particularly if you're doing resistance training already, which is great for healthy testosterone levels. And it also doesn't appear to lower cortisol levels. Some people think that can take this for kind of a stress reducer. Doesn't appear to work that way. Now, this last study to me is the most interesting and probably the most applicable for anybody watching this. They took 65 men and they, again, the 250 milligram of Tribulus 3 times a day, did it for 12 weeks. And important to note, in this particular product, that's 250 milligrams or the 750 a day is roughly equivalent to 112.5 milligrams of that protodiazine. Okay, that's why that quantity in the product becomes important. Some pretty striking results in this study. First of all, DHT increased from 465 to 596. Free testosterone increased from 333 to 360. DHEA, this really increased from 4.39 to 12.43. That's a huge jump. Now, DHEA is basically something in your body that can be converted to testosterone or estrogen. And one of the nice things about Tribulus is that it appears to be, I guess I would say, anti-estrogenic to a point. It increases androgen receptors, so there's more of these testosterone receptors, which is good. And it does appear to kind of quell the estrogen in the body. So that's important for men, particularly if their estrogen's higher. I only bring that up because if we're producing DHEA, we do worry about some of it being converted to estrogen. It doesn't appear to be as big of a concern with Tribulus. And another good thing, prolactin went down. Prolactin, you tend to see higher levels in men, for example, when they have man boobs, tend to carry high prolactin levels. So that went down 17.5 to 7.67. So what's the general takeaway with Tribulus? I was surprisingly impressed with what I saw in the studies. I do think it's a viable option. It appears to be effective at raising the androgenic hormones, not just testosterone, interestingly. It appears to be safe. I actually think it's, and I'll do a video on this, I think it's safer than ashwagandha, but I'll do a comparison video coming up. Um, and like I said, it's unique in that it's raising DHEA. Again, my kind of caution is pay attention to that protodiazine content, and I will put a link to the product they use in that last study down in the description. So if you want to check it out, that would probably be the one that I would move towards. So that's kind of my general takeaway. I want to stress that there's other things you can do to help your testosterone levels that are natural. Go grab my free checklist in the description as well, and I'll send that to you, and it'll go over some of those more natural ways that I know work and that I would recommend. So let me know in the comments, you guys, if you've used Tribulus, if it was helpful, if it was not helpful for you. Did you experience any side effects? Any sort of feedback you guys can give me is helpful, and other people that watch the video, it's very helpful as well. So speaking of which, hope this was helpful, you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.